Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Manny here once again. Welcome back to DFS Zone, your source for daily fantasy sport lineups for the NFL, NBA, and MLB. And before I continue on with the video, like always, guys, I appreciate a like on the video. And if you're new to the channel, I definitely would appreciate you subscribe to the channel. And do not forget to turn on the notifications. This way you will not miss any of my new uploads. And I upload daily. With that being said, today is April the 4th, 2018. I hope everybody had a wonderful evening. I mean, it's been pretty exciting for me here at DFS Zone. I just enjoy the idea of knowing that I'm going to play some MLB games and NBA games at the same time. Obviously, I am spending a little bit more money with that, and I'm hoping to make some money. Last night, it was a so-so night for me. I won two small, not won anything big, but I did cash in MLB after hours, and I did cash in the NBA after hours. Not that much money. I pretty much broke even. I spent about $90 in games yesterday, and I think I won about $84 or something, $82 combined altogether. But not too bad, nothing to really show. But I mean, trust me, I kind of like balanced out last night, so I kind of broke even. Before I continue to share with you guys stud 5 for the NBA today, I do have a few announcements that I would like to bring forward to my audience, to my subscribers. And guys, I know I just started. It's been on here 3 weeks. I got a number of subscribers already. I appreciate all of you guys that have subscribed, and I hope in any way I've taught you something or have helped you make lineup decisions, or maybe even my stud 5s have helped you win some money. The longest you're learning something from me and I'm bringing something positive to you guys, that's the only thing I really care about, because we all know and we should all have a mindset of, hey, you know what, we're not going to always win. As much as I want to win, and I'm a competitor at heart, I played sports competitively since 7 years old all the way through my mid-20s, but nonetheless, it is what it is. When you're a competitor, you want to win every single night. I'm sure a lot of you play the game, play DFS because you were former players, you're big fans of the sports, but at the same time, you want to win too. But we all know that winning is not going to happen all the time. Professional athletes know that as well. We all want to win, but we're not going to win all the time. The key is, it's just like a professional athlete, a professional team. You want to win as consistently as possible. You want to win more games than you lose. So as long as you win more often than you lose, or you make more money, or you win enough money more than you lose money, you're going to be fine. But the two announcements I have is that I am going to continue with the NBA stud 5 all the way through the end of the NBA season, which ends next Wednesday. So we got a week more to go. I was trying to do MLB at the same time as NBA, and just like some of the other guys here on YouTube, and I know exactly where they're coming from, it is very consuming. And even though I do have 3 or 4 hours that I can allocate to this every day, to do both things in 2 videos is a bit too much. But as of next Thursday, I will definitely be doing stud 5, or as far as a lineup picking video for you guys for MLB. So I'm just going to ride it out, finish the NBA, which I truly enjoy. I will give insight in the NBA during the playoffs. I'm not going to give a stud 5 then, because there's going to be less games, but I am willing to at least be able to do a video every day, basically just recapping the playoffs and basically letting you guys know what guys I'm looking at during the playoffs or in each game, but not really just saying, hey, you know what, you should definitely play these particular players. But I will at least give you some guys that I am looking at to play in those given playoff games. So that's the deal there. So MLB will definitely be in full swing as of next week. My dilemma with the MLB is that I was thinking of changing things up a little bit, as opposed to giving a stud 5. I was instead of giving a stud 5. So what I would like is from the subscribers, if I really truly appreciate it, if you comment down below and let me know which one will be suitable for you guys. I really want to accommodate the people that are subscribers. I want people to come in here and be able to spend their 20 minutes, 25 minutes hearing me out, as far as lineup, situations, or who they're looking to play in certain positions. And Major League Baseball is a little more complex. I definitely need more time to work on those things and make those decisions. But I was thinking either we do let's put it this way. I want to know, do you guys want to still have a stud 5, or would it be even nicer? And I was thinking just changing it up and being different, instead of having a stud 5 and giving you 5 top plays, and then of course giving you some other plays in within each position, maybe just giving you my top pool play of at least 18 to 20 players. So they will come from all the different positions, maybe more so on most nights. It'll probably be, I'm thinking you'll get maybe 2 starting pitchers that I'm looking at, and then maybe the rest of the 18 or 16, 17 players, anywhere between 18 to 20. Would that be suitable for you guys? Is that something that you think would be cool? Would you prefer to have the stud 5 and then me just giving you my input on some other plays around those stud 5s, or would you like to have some sort of like an 18 to 20 man pool as far as players? Because my pool is always going to be 40 or 50 players, so I'll be willing to share 18 to 20 of those. And if that's something that you think will be more suitable and will help you make better decisions on lineups, then I'm more than happy to do that, for my audience. So if you don't mind, please comment down below for all of you that watched the video today. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, and then of course comment as well and let me know. Make sure you definitely put a like on the video, and just basically let me know down below, guys, if you want to continue to just have a stud 5 for the MLB for the remainder of the season, or do you want to have that 18 to 20 players that I'm really concentrating on that given night for that slate. Now remember, in baseball we have a lot of slates. We have slates in the middle of the day. Sometimes, like today, we have a bunch of them during the day, and then we have, like, I think, a 5 or 6 game slate in the evening. That's going to always be only on the main slate. Okay, it won't be in the entire day unless the entire day is all night games and all those games are being allocated at that time. So that's the only way that's going to work. But other than that, it will be the main slate of the day. Okay, where you're going to get those 18 to 20 players. And the other thing also is that the smaller slates, any given day of baseball, just like with the NBA, if we only have a 2 or 3 game slate, you're not going to get the 18 or the stud 5, because you ain't going to be sufficient players for that. Not only that, that's pretty much covering almost every player there is, so it don't make no sense. This is more so for like slates that are 5 to 6 games or better. So just always keep that in mind. The next announcement also is that as of next Thursday or Friday, I should be ready to go to be able to give you guys, either a 1 day minimal fee for a cheat sheet for for Major League Baseball. All right, and that's going to consist of obviously having either a stud 5, stud 6, or core 6 or core 5 group of players. And then I'm going to also give you a list of players that I'm looking at, that I did all the necessary research, and all that information will be there, and you're going to have an idea of more or less what players to play. That's going to be available daily for a minimal fee. There's going to be also a plan where you can do it weekly and pay for a weekly plan, and there's also going to be a monthly fee where you can do a monthly plan. Now, obviously, my recommendation is do the daily and see if you like what you see, and if that's going to help you do better lineups, and it's going to have you have some more success. And if it does, then I can say, hey, you know what, I'm willing to do weekly with DFS Zone and Manny. If it doesn't work for you, you can just move on and just be a subscriber and keep coming on and getting tips and getting ideas and deciding on players that I recommend on the daily, here on the regular daily channel. And you take it from there, so it's entirely up to you. All right, guys, so that's basically the announcements. I know it took a little bit of time. Let's get through the players for today. Today we have a 6 game slate we have to worry about. I did narrow things down as far as players are concerned. Sorry about that, guys. So we're going to start off with point guard. There's only a few guys that I have in mind here. There's only a few guys on the slate because there's only a 6 game slate. But I've narrowed it down to Barrera, Murray, Mills, Dragic, Rondo, Lowry, and Reggie Jackson. And I'm only going to go through the guys that I'm thinking of, of playing, that I think are the best plays here today. Starting off with obviously the top end here. The top end guy here today, as far as projected points, is Mr. Kyle Lowry. He's going up against Boston. Boston, as we know, they're really, really tough on defense. I think they're second or third. They're basically right now ranking here. I'm looking at it. They're ranked 7th overall in the league. But in fantasy points allowed and all that, they're all like right there in the top. They're in the top 3, top 4. All the way through. The only area they're lacking is on the 2-point conversions. They're 9th, and that's still below the middle of the pack. So they are really, really tough there. Even after Mr. Kyrie Irving has been out, they still have been tough with Rozier and everybody else that has filled in there. So he's in a tough matchup. I'm not on Lowry today, but he is obviously in play. He hasn't hit value in his last 2 games, and then against Boston, he didn't hit value in his last meeting. He was actually valued $200 more than he is now. He cost $8,300 then. He played 33 minutes. He only put up 11 points. He had a terrible shooting night. He seems to always have a bad shooting night against Boston. 4 out of 13 from the field goal range, and he had 2 of 10 shots from 3-point. So 33 minutes. That was, he had enough minutes there to produce. He had enough shots. He didn't convert enough shots to meet value then. His previous game before that, on February 6th, he definitely put up a 43 spot in 25 minutes, which was less, and he was actually valued cheaper then. His cost then was 7, but he's 8,100 today, so he's got to put up 40. That's going to be tough to do. I really feel it's going to be tough to do. So I just because of that, I'm just not on him. But he is in play because we know he's capable of it, and he definitely has a high enough ceiling to get it done. And he gets a decent usage rate. And Toronto, right now they're kind of coasting. They're in front right now. They don't necessarily need this guy to play, 30 minutes. So I just don't see it happening. So my recommendation is he's in play, but I'm not playing him. I don't think anybody should be on him today. The next guy here that I'm considering is DeJounte Murray. He's going up against the Lakers. The Lakers are 26th ranked against the point guard position. He has only hit value once over his last 3 games, actually overall twice over his last 9 games. So he has had some moments where he has struggled. His minutes have come down just a little bit over the last 2 games, 24 minutes only. His last game against LA, he put up a 28 spot. He was projected to put up 38. He was valued at 75. He is valued lower now at 6,600. With that value there, he's got to put up about 33, 34. But he did previous game before that on the 1st of January. He put up a 45 spot, so he's capable of putting up as much as 45. I'm just not sure if it's going to happen here. The Lakers are pretty pitiful, defending the point, as we know. They're 28th in fantasy points, 30th in fantasy points per minute. They're okay, middle of the pack, 14th in rebounds. They are 21st, which is on the lower end, and in the assists. They're really pitiful in steals, 29th overall, and they're 29th in field goals made. So this is definitely, at least statistically, defending wise, he should have a fairly good game. I think he's in play. He is not my stud for today at point guard, but he is definitely in play. Next guy who definitely should be in the running for stud is Mr. Goran Dragic. Goran Dragic. And let me just put him on here. I'm sorry, guys, because I'm looking at my other screen next to it. Goran Dragic, 6,600 today, facing the Atlanta Hawks. He just played them last night, so this is a home-and-home game. He put up last night 45 fantasy points on him with 28 minutes. He shot beautifully, 9 of 14 from the floor, 3 of 4 from 3-point range. He definitely had 10 rebounds, which is really outstanding. And he had 3 assists. He also had 3 steals. He just had a great overall game. Will he be able to do it 2 nights in a row? We will see. I think he is the one of the best plays tonight. So with Atlanta being 24th ranked, actually his last meeting with Atlanta, of course, was last night. Previous to that, he had a 30-point game. Didn't meet value. He did play 4 minutes longer in that particular game, 32 minutes total. I think he's in play, guys. I mean, he should be able to play at a high level. He just faced Atlanta last night. They are in Atlanta today. I don't think that's any difference. He does play better at home, but I think he's in play. I think he's someone that I am considering in some of my lineups today. He's only one of maybe just 2 or 3 guys here, but he's definitely in play. The next guy in play today is Reggie Jackson. Jackson has hit 3 out of his last 4 games. He has met value. Against Philly, he actually has had 3 straight good games, value or better. He had a 27-80, 3 games back. 2 games back, he played. He put up a 30 spot, and then he put up another 30 spot recently. The most recent game was December 2nd of last year. That was a 29-minute game. He shot well, 9 of 13 from the floor, 2 of 3 from the arc. He had an overall good game. He had a steal. He had 4 assists, 3 rebounds. he's been hurt quite a bit, but he's actually playing a lot now, and he's an integral part of this Detroit team. And he has shown it as of late. He had a 31-minute game his previous game, 24 and 27. So he's getting the minutes. He's getting the shots. He took 16 in his last 4 games since coming back. 22 shots in first game, 16 in his second game, 17th in his third game, 22 in his fourth game. He's getting his usage rate is through the roof. 47 in the last game, 34, 34, and 34. So like I've said before, and I'll say it time and time again, if you're going to get time on the floor and you're going to be able to get a lot of shots, you're going to have an opportunity to put up a lot of points. And he has definitely a high ceiling. He's capable of putting 40, 45. So, I mean, I like him today. I think he's definitely a great play, even though they're playing the Philadelphia 76ers, who are a pretty good defensive team against the point. I don't know how they do it, but they do. So, but those are the guys I'm looking at. Rajon Rondo is in play. I'm not too in favor of him. Out of the point guards here, I'm going to definitely tell you right now, I'm going with J.J. Barrera today against Orlando, just simply because Orlando is just terrible against the point guard position, and J.J.'s back, and he needs to get it going, and he has been. So I just think, not only that, I just want to be able to have value here for myself and for my viewers. So at only 5,200, he's got to get about 25, 26. I think JJ's good for it. As I shown you before, he put up 26 in his last game. He had 37 2 games ago. Against Orlando, he's put up 28 before and 25, so he's capable of it. I think this is definitely a no-brainer. As long as he gets the minutes, he's going to be fine. Let's move over to shooting guard today. The guys I'm looking at in shooting guard, we got Holiday, DeRozan, Damion Lee, Ben McLemore, Josh Hart, Dwayne Wade, and Mr. Coleman Pope. Those are the guys I'm looking at. There's obviously a few more guys in the slate, but I am not considering those guys whatsoever. So, Drew Holiday, first guy. Drew, 8,800. They need him badly tonight. New Orleans is in a tough spot. They are slipping here. They have lost 4 games in a row, and they need to win today. I mean, it's like they really need to win. Denver is right on their heels, and they're feeling the pressure. They're only a half game in front of Denver. They're about to lose the 8th seed to the Denver Nuggets, and they're basically only a game and a half, behind the Clippers, who also won last night. So, like I mentioned yesterday, some teams, these playoff games are very, very important. These teams wanting to make the playoffs, teams just trying to survive here, and the Pelicans are one, and the Timberwolves are another. Both of them have been under 500 over the last 10 games, so they definitely have to pick it up. So I say, this guy has come through for me over and over again all year long. I mean, he has been an incredible player for the Pelicans. Without him and without Anthony Davis, and of course Mr. Cousins before he got hurt, if they had Cousins, they'll definitely be playing a little bit better, and they will probably have more wins right now than they have at the moment. But unfortunately, no Cousins. Him and Mr. Davis are going to have to just eat up, and they're going to have tons of usage time. They're going to be on the floor a lot, and they're going to take a lot of shots. And like I said, a lot of time on the floor and a lot of shots equals to a lot of points, guys. So I'm on Drew Holiday for sure today. He's pretty much going to be my second stud for sure. But let's look at it here for a minute. 2 out of his last 3 games, he has hit value 42 points in his last game. He had a 50-pointer 2 games ago. It was only a little small dud in between, 35 fantasy points. He's up in value. He's up in price because, of course, they know he's going to take these shots. Fanduel knows what they're doing. They're taking the shots, and he's going to get a lot of time on the floor, and they're going to need him to. So as long as he doesn't get hurt or Mr. Davis don't get hurt, these guys, and as long as this game doesn't get out of hand because they had a poor shooting night, these guys are going to be on the floor. So today, guys, definitely you should be on Drew Holiday. We're going to move on to other guys here. DeMar DeRozan is in play. He's up against Boston. His last, he's not hit value well in his last few games. I mean, he's actually not hit value in 5 out of his last 6 games. Just 2 games ago against Boston, he put up a 51. So his last meeting against Boston was a 51-pointer. He had a cost of 7,900. He's valued at the same price today. I don't know if this is not a must-win game for Toronto. It's more about, just saying to yourself, hey, you know what? We are the best team in the East, so they're going to just play simply because if they're going to play hard, they're going to play hard because they want to show Boston that they are the best in the East. And in that last particular game, he played 36 minutes. His usage rate was really high, 32, almost 33, and he shot 19 shots. He hit 12 out of the 19 for 32 points. He had 7 rebounds, 7 assists. He just had a great overall game. He was in foul trouble. He had 5 fouls in that game, but guys, he's a good play today. I mean, I like him. I'm gonna still, like I said, my stud of the day is definitely Mr. Holiday. All right, yeah, this guy's done well, man. And I'm gonna just tap on him right now, so this way you guys see him. Definitely Damion Lee. There's another guy here. I got Damion Lee. He's facing Miami. Miami's 23rd ranked overall against the shooting guard position. This young man has come in here. He's played quite a bit as of late, and he's had 1, 2, 3, 4. He's had 5 out of his last 7 games. He has crushed value. And then against Miami, he just recently had that game just yesterday. He's on a back-to-back. He put a 41 spot on them yesterday at a cost of only $4,400. He went up $500 overnight. He's now valued at $4,900 for tonight. He's going to get the minutes. He had 37 minutes last night. Usage rate was fantastic at 24. He had 19 shots. He hit 6, so he didn't even hit 50%. He also took up 6 threes. He only hit 1, so he was very poor there. But he had 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals. I mean, he did a little bit of everything. They're going to need him again tonight if they want to make this game competitive. So you want somebody with low value, with a low cost here. This is a value play right here. $4,900. You can throw in there Damion Lee, and you have a shot tonight. All right. So Damion Lee. My next guy that I'm looking at is in the Memphis game against New Orleans. Man, no Selden, no Evans. Well, you know what? Ben McLemore is going to get time on the floor. So Ben McLemore, New Orleans is 22nd in the league in defending the shooting guard. In his last 2 games, he's put up 20 and 21. He has met value. Okay, against New Orleans, his last meeting against New Orleans was way back on January the 20th. He only played 20 minutes. He put up 10 fantasy points. He only took up 9 shots. He had 5 and 9. He didn't hit no threes. He was 0 for 4. But this is a different time. This is way back, and right now at this present time, with these guys hurt, he's going to get minutes. He had 23 minutes 2 games ago. Last game he had 29 minutes. He took 12 shots in his last game, 4 of 12. He hit 1 of 3 from the 3-point range. He had a total of 5 rebounds. He had 1 steal, and then the previous game before that, 23 minutes, 4 of 10 from the floor. He took just 2 threes. He missed them both. He's a good value play today. He's only valued at $3,800, guys. He's going to get 25 to 30 minutes. If he can give you 20 points to 25 points, you'll take it. So you could definitely jump on a horn here, get 2 studs, like maybe like a Drummond and a Davis and a Holiday, and throw in there a McLemore. Now you got yourself some more wiggle room to get a couple more players. All right, so he's definitely in play for me today. He's someone that I'm definitely looking at. Josh Hart is the next guy I'm looking at for the Lakers. Of course, Pope is back, but Hart is obviously getting some time on the floor. He has started a few times simply because there's no Ball, and there's no Isaiah Thomas. So he's getting the minutes. Josh Hart, 35 minutes in his last game, 28 fantasy points, only at a cost of $4,500 against Utah. He only took up 4 shots in that game, but he took 4 shots from the floor, 3 from the arc, and then he had 4 rebounds, he had 3 assists, he had 2 steals, he had a block. He did a little bit of everything, and that's what I like about this guy. When he's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of his last 7 games, he has met value or better. Against San Antonio, well, he only played 12 minutes against San Antonio back on January 11th. This is the only game he has faced against San Antonio. He came off the bench. He took 3 shots. He hit 2 of 3. He took 3 shots from the arc. He hit 2 of those. He put up 6 points, and that was basically it. He only played 12 minutes, guys, at a cost of $3,500. Then he was definitely did not need value. But here at $4,500, you need about 20, 22, 23 points or so. I think he'll meet that. 23, 24, he's got it. Especially if he gets the minutes that he's been getting. So Josh Hart is in play. All right, guys, Josh Hart is in play. Dwayne Wade is the next guy I'm looking at, Miami. Mr. Wade, Miami, 20th in the league, defending against a shooting guard. Wade has had 5 straight games hitting value. He played Atlanta last night. He put up 25.8. He just went over value at 5,400 price range. He is down 100 points today. $100 today. But his two previous games against Atlanta, he put up a 41 and 49 back in November, which was a while back. But that was when he was with the Cavaliers. Okay, he had 11 shots in that game and 19 shots in that other game. But his one game, which was just recently, just yesterday against Atlanta, as being a member of the Heat, he only played 24 minutes. His usage rate was good, 25.1. He had 5 of 11 from the floor. He missed all 4 of his 3-point shots, but he had 4 rebounds, 6 assists. He did commit 2 turnovers. He did have a block. He only had a total of 11 points. I like Wade. I think here he's in a good spot. Miami's got to continue to win. They got to keep playing hard. So Atlanta, this is a game that he should be able to, definitely get his 20, 26, 27 or better. I think he's definitely in play here as well. So someone to consider. 5,300, not a bad price for Dwayne Wade. All right. My next guy and my last guy as shooting guard is Mr. Pope for the Lakers against San Antonio. Coleman Pope, $5,800 is cheap. I know he's been dreadful. 5 straight games until last night. Last night against Utah, he put up a 40 spot. He was only priced at $6,100. Okay. And he's still the same price, and he's actually lower today, and that's simply because they're facing San Antonio. But people don't realize this guy's played well against San Antonio. In 2 games against San Antonio this year, he played a 43-minute game back on March 3rd, which was earlier this month, last month, basically a month ago. He had a 44-60 fantasy point game, and he was valued at $6,000. Today he's playing them again, and and his cost went down $200. And that's simply because his play hasn't been great the last one, but he has played well against San Antonio. If he's able to do that, once again, he'll be fine. Now remember, he did have 43 minutes in the last game against them back on the 3rd. Then on January 11th, he played 32 minutes in that one, which is a lot of minutes. All right, he shot 7 of 13 from the floor in the previous game, 3 of 5 from the arc. He had a total of 13 rebounds. He was really boarding that night. He was, really going at the boards. Only 2 assists. He did have 3 steals. He had an awesome game. He is a sneaky guy. I think he's going to do well tonight. He is somebody that I'm definitely considering in some of my lineups. I would say definitely consider Coleman Pope. And that's basically all there at shooting guard. At shooting guard right now. Well, let's go to small forward. At small forward, I'm looking at a few guys here. Josh Richardson is the first guy I'm looking at. All right. Josh Richardson played last night against Atlanta. I had him as one of my studs. He definitely underperformed once again. He's getting the minutes, though. He's going to break out at some point, and I think tonight's probably going to be the night. Am I going to play him tonight? Probably he'll be in some of my lineups, but not on my core 5 or 6. He did put up 26 last night. All right. In 35 minutes. He's getting the minutes. Look at these minutes. 35, 39, 33, 30, 39, 32 in his last 6 games. He's hit value in 2 out of those 6 games. All right. The only reason his minutes are up is he didn't hit value on some of those games is because he wasn't hitting well from the arc. 1 of 5, 1 of 4, 1 of 5, 0 of 2, 0 of 3. He had one game where he only shot 2 of 10 shots. He had a 6 out of 16 in one, 6 out of 15 in another from the 2-point range. So he really struggled. His shooting was not as sharp as it should be. But he is the type of guy that's capable of doing this. Against Atlanta, he had that 26 last night. His 2 previous times before that, on December 18th and October 23rd, early on in the year, he had a 47 spot and a 39 spot, crushing value, and his cost was only $5,500. His usage rate was up 23 and 26 on both of those games, and he had an enormous amount of shots. He shot 19 shots. He hit 10 of 19 in the game in December, and in the one in October, he had 17 shots at 8 of 17. He also hit 3 of 9 from 3-point range and 2 of 5. He had 26 and 21 points respectively. So good position for him. In Atlanta, they're poor. Atlanta is poor defensively, as we know. Against the shooting guard. What we have here for Atlanta? Give me a moment here, guys. Josh Richardson. Yeah, no, shooting guards. We're talking about small forwards here, guys. Apologize for that. We have here Richardson. Yeah, Atlanta is 28th in fantasy points, 29th in fantasy points per minute. They also struggle in the steal department. They're 26th, and they're 30th, dead last, in the 2-point conversions. So, I mean, prime position for Richardson. It's just a matter of getting the minutes and getting the shots. He is getting the minutes. If he puts his shots down, he'll be fine. I like him tonight. He'll be in some of my lineups. He's not in my core because I had him last night and he didn't perform. But he's only has one strike against him on my list, so he'll survive this season. Next guy in play, Robert Covington. Mr. Covington has been hot. He was on some of my lineups last night. I didn't make him one of my stud last night, but he definitely played like a stud last night. He's only costing 6,000. And look at the numbers in the last two games: 42 and 54 fantasy points. He had 33 minutes and 26 minutes respectively. He shot 4 of 11 last night, which is not considered good. But he shot 50% from the three-point range. He took 8 shots this time, hit 4 of 8. He also had 6 rebounds. He had 4 big steals and 3 blocks. So that's why he got 42 fantasy points. He does a little bit of everything. When this guy does a little bit of everything and he fills up the stat sheet like this, he's a good ball player. And they need him to step up. And the reason why he has had to step up is because there's no Embiid. And he knows that he's got to help out on this team. He's got to help out Ben Simmons. So I like him tonight. I think he's going to be one of my studs tonight. I definitely think that he's in play. And against Detroit, he had a 19 spot in his last game back in January. It was a while back. He only played 23 minutes in that game. He only took 6 shots in that game. So that was a very poor game for him. And he wasn't involved in the offense in that particular game. And they won that game. But they won that game big. It was a blowout over Detroit. And that's obviously the reason why he only played 24 minutes and he didn't take a lot of shots. Somebody else was definitely doing so well that he just, rather not even be involved in the offense. Prior to that, on December 2nd, he put up a 49 spot, and before that, in October, he put up 34 spot. Both times, crushing value. So he is prime ready. He's good enough to do this against Detroit. Detroit, surprisingly, is not a bad defensive team, holding down the small forwards. They're 7th overall, 5 in fantasy points, 9th in fantasy points per minute, 3rd in rebounds. Their weakest part is 20. They're 20th in assists. 5 in steals, and 4th in 2-point conversions. And surprisingly enough, I don't know how they get it done, but I think Covington, as long as he gets minutes and he puts down his shots, and he's been really, really hot lately, I think he'll do fine here. So Robert Covington is definitely in play tonight. My next guy that I'm looking at that I think is a good play for you guys today is Mr. Jayson Tatum. All right, Tatum here, Boston. Jayson Tatum, his price is going up slowly but surely. It's up to 6,600. Toronto is 4th overall defending against small forwards, but this man has been playing really well. He has had 4 games in a row at 31 points, fantasy points plus, and his last 2 he crushed value at 34-40 and a 37-20. He's been playing the minutes in the last 4 games. His minutes, let's put it this way, his last 7 games, 35 minutes, 31. He had a 27-minute game, then 32, 32, 33, 32. Usage rate anywhere between 25 to as high as 31.7. And he's taking the shots. He had 5 of 13 in his previous game, 9 of 16, 6 of 15, 10 of 18, 6 of 10, 8 of 12, 9 of 14. I mean, he's taking shots. He's shooting threes, 3 of 8, 2 of 2, 2 of 3, 2 of 4. I mean, he's getting it done. He's definitely getting it done. So against Toronto, his last game against Toronto back at the end of last month, just about a couple of days ago actually, he put up 37 fantasy points against them in a win. 33 minutes, 24%, 24.6 usage rate, and he took 16 shots, hit 9 of 16, hit both of his threes. I mean, he had 6 rebounds, 4 assists. He had a complete game. So Jayson Tatum is definitely in play tonight, guys. Definitely in play. So someone to definitely consider. He'll be on a few of my lineups as well. Next guy I'm looking at is Mr. Rudy Gay as a value play. Rudy Gay. I really like Rudy Gay. I like Rudy Gay today against the Lakers. You got all these guys banged up. The Lakers have no Ingram. They have no Leonard. Kyle Anderson is so up and down. We're not starting to see the pop as much. I think he's hearing us from all the way, all the way over here to start giving this guy a little bit more minutes. He only played 17 minutes last night, but he put up 34 fantasy points. 34 fantasy points. Come on, Pop. Put this guy on the court. Let him play 25 to 30 minutes. You know, we know that he's a little bit injury prone, but I mean, come on. You know, this is a stretch drive here, and you know, San Antonio is not out of the woods here yet. They're like only what are they in the standings? They're basically only ahead. They're tied pretty much with OKC for 5th and 6th, and they got Minnesota on their heels, 1 game back. New Orleans, who is just fighting for their lives for the 8th seed. You got the Nuggets and the Clippers that are still hot, playing really, really well. They're only 1 game back from the playoff hunt, and they're only basically, really, technically, only 2 games back from San Antonio. This is far from over, these last 5 games or 6 games that are left. I mean, this is going to be some sort of race here at the end. You know, so Rudy Gay is going to have to get some time. So 17 minutes, 23 and 24 in his last 3 games. He has had 6 games in a row where he has met value or crushed it. He was playing the Lakers. His last time he played the Lakers was on the 3rd last month. He put up a 25 spot. You know, just went over value. He took 12 shots, only hit 5. He took 5 threes, only hit 2. All right, but he did have 8 rebounds. He had a block shot. He had 15 total points. So he had a good game, you know, and that's for 26 minutes. Give him up to 30, and you'll see that Mr. Gay will get some more stuff done for you. So Rudy Gay for me is in play today. I think he's a great value play at $4,500. You know, next another value play, Dillon Brooks from Memphis, 4,500. Dillon Brooks here, man, you know, 46 points in his last game. 46 for Dillon. He's playing the New Orleans Pelicans at 18th overall in the league. They're 18th in fantasy points, 24 in fantasy points per minute. They're 30th in the rebound department, 27th in assists, and they're favorable in the steals at 14th rank, but they're 28th, almost the bottom of the well here in 2-point conversions. Mr. Brooks is in prime position to have a great game here, especially with all these guys hurt. No Tyreek Evans. I mean, him and McLemore are going to have to step up today for Memphis to keep this game, you know, respectable. You know, he played 30, so he got a 46 in his last game at a cost of $3,900. So he crushed value big time. 2 games before that, he had a 32-20 with a $3,700 cost value. He crushed value. 29 minutes, 26 minutes, and 37 minutes in his last 3 games. Usage rate 36, 24, and 26. His last game, he shot 11 of 26. He shot an enormous amount of shots because he was hot. 4 of 9 from 3. He shot 5 of 12 his previous game and 6 of 12 the game before that. Let's see here against the Pelicans. He put up a 21 spot back in January the 20th in 30 minutes. Shot 4 of 8 and 2 of 4 respectively. And he had a 44 spot back in October against the Pelicans in a win. And he had 13 shots there, 7 of 13. He had 19 points, 5 rebounds, you know, 2 assists. He had 4 steals and 2 blocks. So the guy did a little bit of everything against this team. And you know what? He's in a good spot here again. New Orleans is dying. You know, I mean, New Orleans should play well enough to win this game at home without no problems. But for Memphis to stay in this game, they're going to need Mr. Brooks to perform a little bit and keep this game close. And he's going to have to be a scorer. He's going to have to take shots. So I say he's a good value play for you guys today at $4,500. I think he'll meet that, especially if he gets the minutes, and I think he will. Next guy is from the Pelicans, is right underneath him, E'Twaun Moore. E'Twaun Moore is getting a lot of minutes as well, you know. And like I say time and time again, if you get minutes and you get shots, you have a shot. He had 25 fantasy points in his last game, 31 minutes, 6 of 12 from the floor, 3 of 6 from the arc. He took shots, but look at the difference. The previous game, 29 minutes, his usage rate was only 8, but he only took 1 of 5 shots and 1 of 2 from the arc. And that's the difference. That's why he had a dud game at 9 fantasy points. Previous to that, he had 27 and 28. You know, look all the way down this list here, guys. He's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of his last 10 games, he has met value or crushed it. He only had that 1 dud, and the one before that, he had a slightly just under value. So he's getting the minutes. That's the most thing, first important thing. His value, $4,500, not bad. He's got to get the 23 for you. You know, against Memphis, he put up a 15 dud against them in January. But prior to that, a week before that, on the 10th, he put up a 30 spot. Before that, he put a 20 spot, and he took 4 of 10 and 5 of 13 shots.
respectively in each of those games. He did shoot 4 threes, hit 1 of 4 in the last game, and the previous game before that he shot 2 of 7 from 3-point range. So he did a little bit of everything else. 4 rebounds, 4 assists. He had a steal, he had a block. 16 points and 9 points respectively in those 2 games. You know what? I mean, he can get it done. So again, another nice value play considering Memphis. Is right now. They're not. Memphis was always considered a good defensive team, but they are not that good of a defensive team anymore. At least not now. And they pretty much have tanked the season. They're letting some of these guys play a little bit more, like Brooks and so on and so forth. So each one more in play. Next guy in the list here is Mr. Hezonja of the Orlando Magic. No Jonathan Simmons. This guy had a nice game last night against the Knickerbockers. He put up 32 spot yesterday against the Knicks in 35 minutes. He shot 7 of 12 from the floor, 5 of 8 from 3-point range. And when this guy hit the threes, forget about it. He's had 4 out of his last five games. He's met value. And then against Dallas, he's had 2 good games. This season he's only played Dallas once, and then last year he played him once only, and he also net value then. He put a 20 spot then. His last game back in January against Dallas, he put a 26 spot in a loss. He had 26 minutes on the floor, shot 5 of 9 and 2 of 4 from 3-point range. Basically 4 rebounds, 4 assists. He had 1 steal, and he put up 14 points. But it's a big difference now because with all these guys hurt, he's getting more minutes now. And the team, 35 minutes, 27-26, compared to 22 before, that's the reason why he has to be a part of the offense. So Mario Hezonja, in a good spot for you guys here today as well, guys. So consider him as a value play. We'll go to power forward. Those are the only guys I have at small forward, power forward. Oh, and my small forward guy, guys, the guy I'm going with, sorry about that. The guy that I'm going with is Jayson Tatum today. Okay, as my 3rd stud. Boston over Toronto. Jayson Tatum, lock him in as your 3rd stud. Power forward. A lot of good plays here today. Anthony Davis obviously is the first one on the board here at power forward. Mr. Davis has got to do it all today. I mean, New Orleans is in desperate mode right now. He's playing nearly 40 minutes, and he's going to have to do that for the rest of the season if these guys are going to get into playoffs. He's going to have to show that he is their MVP right now. Between him and Holiday, they both got to crush value big time over the next couple of days. And you know what? I'm betting on them. I think they could get it done. As far as them performing, as far as the rest of the team, we don't know. But I mean, Anthony Davis, I think is going to put up today. I really do like him today as a good. He's definitely in play for me today. He will have to hit about 57, 55 to 57. Yeah, about 57 points you got to get out of him today. Against Memphis, he put up a 42 spot and a 52 spot in his last 2 games, which were definitely undervalued. He did play the same amount of minutes he's playing now, 38 and 40, so it doesn't look good as far as his last 2 games against Memphis. But those games were back on January 20th, and then the previous one before that, where he only put up 52, was below value by 3 fantasy points, which he was very close. That was a 40-minute game, but that was back in October, so it's a totally different ballgame now. Memphis then was still one of the better teams, were good defensively. They don't have no Jermichael Green. They don't have, they're in a bad spot here. So this should be a cakewalk for Anthony Davis today. If he doesn't perform today, it's because he's not hitting a shot. But if this guy hits his shots, he's going to be all right. I say, guys, definitely lock in Anthony Davis if you want to today. I think he's definitely in play. Memphis really don't have anything that they can do against him. Next guy on the list here, as you can see, is Ben Simmons. Obviously, Simmons is in play. He is 9,700. He did not play 9,700 worth last night. But he's actually went down $200 last night. He was 9,900. 37 last night, but he did have a 66 and a 50 in the 2 previous games. Against Detroit, he's put up decent numbers. A 45 spot back in January the 5th. And a 49 spot back on October the 23rd. 23 minutes and 33 minutes respectively. His usage rate was high in the last game back in January, 33.8. He shot 9 of 13 from the floor and basically had 4 rebounds, 9 assists, and he definitely had 2 steals, 2 blocks. He had an awesome overall. He was like a 5-tier player, definitely there that night. And Detroit, ranking wise, they're 28th, 29th in the league defending power forwards. Even though he's labeled here on FanDuel as a power forward, you know that he has been playing the point guard position pretty much for Philadelphia. And Detroit is actually better defending the point. But he's just right now, he just has to take all the shots and make all the plays. And I just don't see where Detroit right now, especially that they are out of the playoffs. I don't think they're tanking, but they're not playing 150% right now. They still have a lot of their key guys on the floor. So I wouldn't say they're a tanking team. I would say Memphis is more of tanking. Guys, I think Ben is definitely in play today. I'm not on him today. I don't think I'm going to have him in any of my lineups. Maybe if I could squeeze him in value-wise, I'll do that. But I think there's a couple nice value plays, as I already shared with you, so maybe there might be. But I'm not on him today. LaMarcus Aldridge, definitely in play as well. LA Lakers are 28th overall, defending the 4. He has hit 62 and 50 in his last 2 games, so he's crushed value in 2 games straight. And previously with LA, he hasn't really had any good games with LA dating back all the way to November of 2016. That's very surprising. I did not look up whom defended him over those last few games, but he played them back in January against the Lakers then, and the Lakers are actually playing better as a team now. So it's a little bit of a dangerous situation, but with San Antonio needing every game right now, they really need this guy to be on the floor and take as many shots as possible and carry this team. He has been San Antonio's most valuable player, hands down, all year. And can imagine that San Antonio has performed all year long without Kawhi Leonard, and this guy has carried this team to about 48 wins or so. It's just 45, 46 wins. It's just remarkable. So for them to still be in it, I'm very, very surprised, and that's obviously due to coaching and the guys buying into the system and defense and so on and so forth. But LaMarcus Aldridge is in play today, and let me just look quick. He had 2 of 3. He hasn't had against LA 26, 22, 28, 19 in his last 4 previous games. Again, he has not met value in any one of those games. His usage rate was fine, 28, 31, 26, and 23 in those 4 games. But 6 of 15, 4 of 11, 8 of 14, 5 of 11, just not enough shots. He just didn't take a whole lot of shots in those games. Obviously, they had forced him to pass the ball. I don't know, with LA, with Randle being such a rough and physical player, Julius Randle, and you got Kuzma there now, it may be a tough go for him. They're projecting him to put up almost 50 points tonight, and well, I hope he does. I would say he's in play if you guys really like him. I think that he's definitely in play, but I don't see him being on my lineup today, at least not as one of my studs. Julius Randle in play, of course. Julius Randle, San Antonio's 5th defending against the 4. He had a 41 spot against them back on March 3rd, so he definitely had a great game. He played 33 minutes. His usage rate was up 25.5. He took 15 shots, hit 8, and then he had 11 free throws. He got to the foul line. He had 9 of 11 free throws. He had 6 total rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. He did a little bit of everything. 25 points. I like the kid because he just plays hard all the time, man. Hard all the time. So just for that, he gets a lot of respect. So today, he's got a battle against Mr. Aldridge. It should be interesting. But I definitely believe he is in play here, guys, at 8,100. He's got to give you 40 somewhat points. He can get there. He definitely has a high enough ceiling. He can get you 50 to 55. So I would say he's in play. Somebody to consider. Next on the list here, Mr. Collins. Actually, Mr. Gordon. Sorry about that. Aaron Gordon is in a good spot here too against Dallas. Dallas is ranked 25th defending the 4. He has had 4 dud games in a row. He's not met value in 4 straight. So that's definitely a disappointment, and that's something to definitely consider before making a decision tonight, guys. His last game against Dallas, he put up 30. and he was valued at 83. His cost was 8,300, which is more expensive than he is now. 32 minutes, he shot 6 of 16, so it was a poor shooting night. He took 7 shots from 3-point range, only hit 1, so it was very poor shooting night for him that particular night. I don't know if that's going to happen a second time around, especially that we know Dallas is out of it now. That game was back in January 9th. Obviously, everybody was still in it then. Maybe not Dallas, but they probably were considered to be, still in it at that point in time mentally as a team. Now I just don't see it, So, yeah, I think, here Aaron Gordon is definitely in play. I don't see, 36 minutes, 26 points, 37, 32, 31. A little erratic. He's definitely a GPP play. Definitely where Aaron Gordon is a GPP. I never would tell you guys cash. When I look at these guys, I'm basically looking at them as GPP play guys. All right, so always remember that because I've said it over and over again. I play a lot of GPPs. I like going for the big prize. Every single night I do play in almost every slate a GPP. But I definitely do play some cash games just to make sure that I balance out my expenses here and hopefully recoup some of my money back by playing some of the smaller tables, smaller tournaments, as well as 50-50s. Aaron Gordon, next guy in line here on this list. I'm not on Kelly Olynyk today. His minutes have gone down. Kyle Kuzma is definitely in play for me today against San Antonio. I mean, how much San Antonio can handle Randle and Kuzma at the same time is going to be one of these guys are going to go off, at least in my opinion. And something tells me that it's going to be Mr. Kuzma. His last 2 games against San Antonio, he put up 26 and 29 respectively, and that was back on the 3rd of March, and then on January the 11th, he did play 33 minutes in his last game against them. He didn't shoot that well. 4 of 13, he got shots, 2 of 6 from 3-point range. So if you hit 50% on both, he would have had about almost 40 fantasy points. He had 2 steals in that game. He had 8 total rebounds. He could have passed the ball a little bit more, but Cruz is more of in the wing, looking to penetrate, shooting the threes. So he's always out on the wings more. He's not one of those guys that's looking to pass the ball a whole lot. He's a scorer. So, but 6,500, he's got to get you what 30, about 33, 34. I think he can do it. He's definitely in play for me tonight. Next guy on the list here is for Atlanta, Mr. Collins. John Collins is in play for you guys out there today. He's actually played well as of late. Mr. Collins is facing Miami 20th. His last 3 games, he has made his hit value in his last 3 games, 36, 30, and 32. He's playing the minutes, 29, 32, and 32. His usage rate has been good. He's taking shots, 7 of 14 in his last game, 3 of 7 from 3-point range. He had 10 rebounds. He had 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block. He did a little bit of everything in his last game against Miami just yesterday. So again, 36 points yesterday against Miami. His last time before that, he had a little bit of a dud, 16 points, but he only played 17 minutes. And then the previous time, he had only played 18 minutes, and he put up 33 fantasy points. Shot 6 of 11 from the floor, and was perfect from the free throw line. Had 11 rebounds in that particular game with 1 block and 2 steals. So he had an awesome game. 2 games back against Miami, and then last night as well. So Collins is definitely in play, 6,300. Yeah, he's got to get you 31, 32. I think he can do it. Serge Ibaka is my next guy here that I think everybody should look at. Ibaka, where are you? Toronto. There we go. Serge Ibaka, 5,500. He's in play, guys. 5,500. Serge Ibaka. Boston is 7th overall, but he has had 3 very good value games in a row, 32-9, 29-5, 38-2, all with the price range of 5,300 to 5,600. He's only 5,500 today. His minutes 29, 32, 24, and 30 respectively in his last 4 games, and he's getting shots. 6 of 14 in his last game, a 5 of 7, good high percentage rate there. 6 of 11 previous game, 5 of 12 before that. And he's shooting threes as well, 2 of 5, 3 of 3, 1 of 4, 2 of 5 in his last 4 games respectively against Boston. He had a 29 spot back on the 31st, just a few days back, in a losing cause, 32 minutes on the floor, and he only shot 5 of 7. That was the game that he shot 5 of 7. So think about it, 5 of 7, he had to hit everywhere else he had to do well. He had free throws, 2 of 2. He hit all 3 of his threes, 3 of 3 from 3-point range. He had 10 rebounds, 1 assist, and he had 1 block in that game. He did have 5 fouls, almost in trouble, or foul trouble, but that's probably, but overall, 32 minutes, 29 fantasy points against Boston in his last meeting. he's in a good spot. He's going to deal with Marcus Morris, who's finally a little healthy. He's playing. I don't have Marcus Morris as some guy on my list today, so I'm definitely bypassing him today. And my last guy that I'm looking at power forward is Mr. Tolliver. Man, Mr. Tolliver has been incredible for Detroit here at the late stretches here, knowing that Detroit is out of it. This man has been proving that he can play, and they're playing him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight value crushing games. Okay, 32, 31, 31, 28, 25 minutes respectively. As you can see, I said 25. It started with 25, went up to 28, then 31, then 31, then 32. 4 of 7 shooting, 2 of 4 from three-point range in his last game, 5 of 9 and 4 of 8 respectively in the previous game. It's just, he's getting shots and he's hitting them at a high percentage rate. Against Philly, he hasn't done well. All right, 3 meetings against Philly back in January, only played 12 minutes. Before that, only played 12 minutes, and before that, only played 19 minutes. So he hasn't been on the floor much because those games were early on in the year. Now, because they're out of it, and it has some injuries, and he's playing so well, he's getting the minutes. So we can't compare what he's done against Philly from his previous meetings against them, because they were early on in the year and he wasn't getting the minutes. Now, like I said, guys, before, you get minutes and you're able to get some shots off, you have a chance to put up some points. So he should meet value. His value is about 22, yeah, about 22. You need a 5,500. You need about 23 points or so, and he has had 23 or better in 5 straight games. So he's good for it. I think he's a great cash play and a great GPP play at a decent price of 5,200. So that ends the power forwards. Let's move on to center. I know this video is lengthy. I'll try to make them a little shorter starting tomorrow, guys. So again, power forward. I went power forward, and I didn't give you my power forward that I'm playing. And I'm going to play Mr. Anthony Davis today, man. I'm going with AD. That's my 4th stud. AD is my 4th stud, all right? At least 5,400. I still have to give you my center. And we're going to go through the centers really quick, because the centers, there ain't that many of them, all right? The only ones in play that I'm looking at and considering today is Drummond, Whiteside, Valanciunas, Vukovic, and Gasol. All right, guys? So we're going to go with Drummond. I don't need to go over so much about Drummond. Drummond is playing against Philadelphia. Philadelphia has no Embiid. You know he's going to be fed the ball. They're going to try to definitely revolve the offense through Drummond and Mr. Jackson and probably Mr. Tolliver, who likes shooting the threes. So that's where I see it at today against Philly. Philly should beat Detroit, but if Detroit's going to stay in this game, Drummond is going to get a lot of action here. So I'm basically letting you guys know, if you like Drummond, he is the stud of all the centers today, and he's in the best matchup. I think you definitely should consider Mr. Drummond. He will be in a few of my lineups. I mean, 30, 51, 59, 39, 69, 45. I mean, against Philly, he's going to be fine. I'm not going to even go over Philadelphia's results he's had with Philly. I'm sure he has done well. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to jump into it really quickly here. Against Philly, 28 his last game. Previous to that, 53 and 46 this year. So he's crushed value twice out of 3 times, and there's no Embiid today. So imagine, he should be able to hit 50 easy. His value here at 10K, he should hit 50 easy. Okay, no Embiid. Next guy is Vukovic. Vukovic, good spot as well. Playing against Dallas. Dallas big men, they're definitely weak there. They don't have a guy that can probably defend this guy. The only thing with Vukovic is, sometimes he gets a little bit of foul trouble. He has had 4 out of his last 5 games at 41 plus. In his last game against Dallas, he had a 19 and 26, and that was back last season, not even this season. He has not faced them this season. But you know what? The way Dallas is right now, he is a good play today at 9,300. 9,300. He's got to get to like 47. 46. He can do it. I don't think he's the best play, but he's in a good spot. Mr. Whiteside, facing Atlanta, he put up a 40 spot against them last night. Previous games before that, that's the only game he's played against them this year. Previous year, he did a 43 and 54 out of 2 out of 4 games last season. Obviously that's all different. I do not go by statistics from last year. I only go for this season and maybe the last like 5 to 6 games to determine where people are at. So I mean, his last few games, Whiteside, 40. He had a 28 and 29. Then he didn't play for 3 games because he was a little banged up. Before that, he had a 42 and 57. I mean, you need about 35 from him. 33, 35, whatever, 33, 34 points from him today is very much attainable against Atlanta. I mean, he did 40 last night. So, I think he's in play at 7,300. If you like Mr. Whiteside, I would say you could play him. I'm not on Horford. I'm not too big of a fan of Horford. Valanciunas I like against Boston. The only problem with Valanciunas is that he doesn't get enough minutes. That's always been my beef, is that I don't know what they're waiting for to let this guy go full swing and put 25, 30. He put 30 minutes and it was all the way down here. That was back on March the 7th. He put a 44. But he's capable, man. He's capable of putting up some nasty numbers. His last few games, 29 and 29. Hasn't met value in 2 straight games. Against Boston, he only put up a 29, just undervalued the last time he faced Boston, which was only a few days ago. He took only 12 shots. He had 6 of 12. He didn't get to the foul line a lot. He only took 2 foul shots, hit 1 of 2. Did have 11 rebounds, which is definitely low for him. I mean, with Boston, he should be able to get more. He only had 1 block. It wasn't a great game. 25 minutes only. In the previous game before that, he only played 20 minutes, which was back on February the 6th. So he just doesn't play enough minutes. That's the only reason why I'm not on him today. I think he's in play. For 6,500, he can get you the points necessary there. But that's my only concern, is he just does not play enough minutes, man. He just doesn't. All right. Next after this, Marc Gasol would be a good play here, but Gasol has lost minutes because Memphis has tanked. That's just the bottom line. Why play this guy? You're probably one of your best 2 players besides Mr. Evans. Mr. Evans is hurt. Why is this guy going to be on the court? So they figured maybe we're not going to play him that much anymore. His minutes have come down 21, 23, and 20 over his last 3 games. And you can see when he's on the floor and he can put up the points, 28, 3-2. 1 steal, 34 points. I mean, he's in play today, but I don't know if they're going to play him a whole lot. So I would definitely say not to play him today, but it's entirely up to you. He's definitely in a good position with New Orleans not having a center. But then again, Anthony Davis will probably move to the 5 today. Who knows? Next guy in play here. I'm just going to jump right down to Paul Gasol. He's going to be the guy. If he's playing today, he's going to be my 5th stud. Okay, if he's playing today, he only played 10 minutes in the last 2 games in a row. Okay, and before that he had a 27 and a 38. So 2 out of his last 5 games he's met value, but his last 2 games hasn't played any minutes. And this is where I'm scared to always select a Spurs player because of that. But out of the Spurs players today, I like Gasol if he plays, and I also like Gay, Rudy Gay. I'm not going to put Gay as one of my studs, but he's going to be one of my guys that I'm going to put in my lineup. Against LA, he has hit a 50 spot and a 36 spot this year alone. On March 3rd, he put a 50 spot in 32 minutes. His usage rate was incredible, 27, and he ate 8 of 17 shots from the floor. He did miss his 3 3-pointers attempts that he made. He made 3 of them. He missed all 3. But he had 10 rebounds. He had 8 assists. He did a little bit of everything. He had 3 blocks, 19 points. That's a solid game in a loss. 116-112, they lost to the Lakers. A shootout. But before that, he played the Lakers on January 11th, and he crushed value then also. 36.9 points, 36 minutes, 4 of 14 from the floor, was not that effective. 1 of 2 from 3-point range. He had 12 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 blocks in that game. So he's definitely done the blocks a lot on LA. I like him here. You got with his price at 4,600, you need about 23. Let's say 23. He's got it. I think if he's on the floor, he's going to get it. So with that, that's why he is my 5th stud today, and that leaves you with 5,600 guys here to build the rest of your lineup in. I know some of my lineups are kind of wacky, man, but this is not a bad lineup. You got Tatum. You got Barrera, Holiday, Tatum, AD, and Paul Gasol. All right, those are my stud 5 for today. I gave you all the guys that I think are of value today, guys that you should consider. I'm going to finish up this roster here for tonight. Want to make some money? I hope you guys make some money as well. Guys, remember, if you want me to do the MLB as a 18 to 20 man, cheat sheet, whatever you want to consider it, I'm willing to do that. If you want it to be a stud 5 like I do with the NBA, I can do that as well. I just thought changing it up would be cool for MLB. And like I said, I'm going to finish up the NBA season first and then really go full swing ahead with MLB starting next Thursday. And there will be, of course, if anybody's interested in the cheat sheet that I'm going to have available for daily, weekly, or monthly, you can hit me up on that on either Twitter or my Instagram account, or right here, comment down below and tell me you have an interest, and then we'll do a private message and we'll discuss it further. But all that should be ready to go by next Thursday. And as of next Thursday is when I'll be doing my first ever. I already did one stud 5 earlier, but it'll be the next time that I'll continue to do either stud 5 for MLB starting next Thursday, or you guys are going to get your 18 to 20 players that I'm looking at as far as the top picks for the day in the main slate for MLB, and we'll take it from there. So if you guys want to see something like that, I need you to comment down below and let me know. And other than that, guys, I hope you liked the video. Please give it a thumbs up. I definitely will appreciate that. And I appreciate all of you guys that have subscribed already. And I definitely want more subscribers. I want more people to come to the channel. I want to build a nice community here. I want to be able to have a lot of interaction. And then eventually, as my MLB season really gets going, I will do some live sessions where we can discuss baseball all year long, at least once or twice a week, and then maybe have one live session where I am basically just sitting down and reviewing lineups again about an hour before lock. So all those things I have planned down the line. But again, guys, like the video, comment down below, let me know what you want to do with the MLB thing, stud 5, or you want to get that 18-20 list of players that I'm looking at as the top players of the day. Let's put it out, your top players of the day. I'll get some sort of title for it, or maybe you guys can give me a title for it. Hey man, I'm willing to listen to anything. And other than that, good luck tonight with MLB. Good luck tonight with the NBA. And man, I appreciate you guys. God bless. And your boy Manny, it is out again. Goodbye.